Have you ever wondered why your neighbor's tomato plants look like massive green jungles, while yours are barely surviving? What if I told you that the secret to explosive tomato growth has nothing to do with expensive chemical fertilizers? Today, we are talking about the golden method of tomato planting. I am going to show you 3 everyday items, things you probably throw in the trash, that you need to put directly into the planting hole. I promise you, if you do this, your tomatoes will grow like absolutely crazy this season. But here is the hook. One of these items is something most people think is actually harmful to plants. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to prepare the perfect bed for your tomatoes, ensuring a massive, juicy harvest. So, tell me in the comments right now, what is the one thing you usually put in your tomato hole before planting? Let us see who already knows the secret. Before we get to the 3 secret items, we need to understand a little bit of gardening history. For hundreds of years, indigenous populations knew that the soil alone was not enough to sustain heavy feeding plants like tomatoes. They used a famous method where they buried a whole fish under their crops. As the fish decayed, it provided a slow release of vital nutrients directly to the root zone. Today, our garden soil is often depleted from years of growing. We buy a young tomato plant from the nursery, stick it in tired dirt, and hope for the best. But tomatoes are incredibly hungry plants. They need a massive amount of energy to produce those heavy red fruits. The crucial concept here is localized feeding. If you put the nutrients exactly where the roots are going to establish themselves, the plant does not have to waste energy searching for food. It can focus all its energy on growing upward and producing flowers. Let us start with the biggest mistake most gardeners make right at the beginning. You dig a little hole, you drop the tomato plant in, and you cover it with dirt. That is it. But what is really happening under the soil? The roots are searching for food, and they find absolutely nothing but plain, exhausted dirt. This is why your tomatoes grow slowly and look sad. Imagine running a marathon without eating a good breakfast. That is exactly what you're asking your tomato plants to do. To fix this, we need to turn that simple planting hole into a 5-star buffet for the roots. When the roots hit the right nutrients on day 1, the plant explodes with growth. The stem gets thick, the leaves turn deep green, and the plant becomes highly resistant to disease. Many people think they can just pour liquid fertilizer on top of the soil later in the season. Let me bust that myth right now. Top watering with fertilizer rarely reaches the deep root system, where the plant needs it most during those crucial first weeks. By preparing the hole correctly before the plant even goes in, you are setting up a foundation for absolute success. So, what is the first secret ingredient? It is something you probably ate for breakfast. I am talking about the simple banana peel. Do not ever throw your banana peels in the trash again. Tomatoes absolutely love potassium, and banana peels are completely packed with it. Potassium is the key nutrient that helps plants move water and nutrients between their cells. But more importantly, potassium is the driving force behind flower production. More flowers mean more tomatoes. It is that simple. When you place a banana peel at the bottom of the planting hole, it acts as a slow-release energy drink for the plant. As the summer gets hotter and the plant gets stressed, that decaying peel provides a steady stream of the exact mineral the plant needs to keep producing fruit. Think of the banana peel as the engine oil for your tomato plant. It keeps everything running smoothly, prevents the leaves from curling, and ensures the tomatoes get big, heavy, and sweet. Now, let us talk about how to actually use this banana peel effectively. You cannot just throw a whole fresh peel into the hole and expect miracles overnight. You need to help the breakdown process. The best way to do this is to chop the peel into small pieces with a knife or scissors before you head out to the garden. Smaller pieces have more surface area, which means the helpful microbes in the soil can break them down much faster. There is a common myth that putting fresh fruit peels in the soil will attract pests and bugs that will eat your plant roots. This is completely false if you do it right. Because we are putting the chopped peel deep at the very bottom of the hole, well below the surface, pests cannot smell it or reach it. I have seen plants grown with chopped banana peels outgrow regular plants by twice their size in just 3 weeks. The difference in the thickness of the main stem is truly unbelievable. Moving on to ingredient number 2. This is the ultimate cure for the most frustrating tomato problem in the world. Have you ever grown a beautiful, huge tomato only to turn it over and find an ugly, black, rotting spot on the bottom? That is called blossom end rot. It will ruin your entire harvest and break your heart. Blossom end rot is not a disease, and it is not caused by a bug. It is caused by a severe lack of calcium in the plant. And the best source of free organic calcium is crushed eggshells. Just like our bones need calcium to grow strong, tomato plants need calcium to build strong cell walls in their fruit. When the plant cannot find enough calcium in the soil, the bottom of the fruit physically collapses and rots. By adding crushed eggshells directly into the planting hole, you are providing a dedicated calcium reserve right where the feeder roots can grab it. It is the cheapest and most effective insurance policy for a perfect harvest. But there is a catch when it comes to eggshells, and this is where most people fail. Let us clear up a massive misconception. If you crush an eggshell in your hand and throw those large jagged pieces into the hole, they will do absolutely nothing for your plants this year. Eggshells take a very long time to decompose in the soil. To make the calcium instantly available to the tomato roots, you must process them. You need to wash the shells, let them dry, and then grind them into a very fine powder. You can use an old coffee grinder or a blender for this. When the egg shells are turned into dust, the soil acids and microbes can break them down almost immediately. Put about 2 tablespoons of this eggshell powder into the bottom of every single hole. When the roots hit that powder, they will absorb the calcium instantly, guaranteeing that your tomatoes will be perfectly round, firm, and completely free of that terrible black rot. All right, so far we have our banana peel for potassium to boost the flowers, and our eggshell powder for calcium to prevent rotting. You might think that is enough, but we are missing the final puzzle piece. We need something to stimulate massive root expansion and protect the plant from early soil diseases. A plant with a small root system will always give you a small harvest, no matter how much you feed it. We need a catalyst, something that sweetens the soil just a little bit and provides a wide spectrum of trace minerals that you cannot get from typical store-bought compost. This brings us to the third and final item in our golden method. It is something you might have sitting in your fireplace or fire pit right now, It is completely free, but to a tomato plant it is worth its weight in gold. Let us look closely at ingredient number 3. The third secret item to put in your tomato hole is pure wood ash. Wood ash is an incredible, highly concentrated source of phosphorus, magnesium, and trace elements that tomatoes crave. Phosphorus is the essential nutrient for robust root development. When you add wood ash, the roots go crazy. They spread out wider and deeper than ever before. Wood ash also raises the soil pH slightly, which tomatoes love because they prefer a slightly sweet soil to absorb nutrients properly. Think of wood ash as the multivitamin of the garden. While the banana peel and eggshells provide specific major nutrients, the ash fills in all the tiny microscopic nutritional gaps. It also has natural antifungal properties. When placed in the planting hole, it helps sterilize the immediate area, protecting those delicate new roots from fungal diseases that naturally live in damp garden soil. However, you must be extremely careful with how you use wood ash. This is a powerful substance, and more is not always better. You only need a small handful, about 1/4 of a cup, for each planting hole. If you use too much, you can make the soil too alkaline, which will actually lock up the nutrients and starve your plant. Also, and this is critically important, you must only use pure wood ash from untreated natural wood. Never use the leftover ash from charcoal briquettes, as they contain harmful chemicals and glues. Do not use ash from painted or treated lumber. Just use clean ash from a regular campfire or a wood-burning stove. Sprinkle that small handful right over the chopped banana peels and the eggshell powder. When you combine these 3 specific items, you are creating a chemical reaction in the soil that provides a perfectly balanced, slow-release fertilizer system that will last the entire growing season. Now that we have our 3 secret ingredients, the banana peel, the eggshell powder, and the wood ash, we need to talk about the layering technique. You cannot just dump all this stuff in a hole and shove the tomato plant directly on top of it. That is a recipe for disaster. The raw nutrients, especially the decaying banana peel and the alkaline wood ash, can burn the fragile young roots of a new plant. You have to create a buffer zone. First, dig your hole much deeper than you think you need to. Drop in the chopped banana peels, the eggshell powder, and the wood ash. Then, take 2 to 3 inches of regular soil or compost and cover the ingredients. You want to create a dirt blanket over the secret mixture. When you place the tomato plant in the hole, the roots will sit on top of this plain soil. As the plant grows and gets stronger, the roots will naturally reach down into the nutrient layer exactly when they are mature enough to handle that powerful burst of food. Let us discuss the actual planting depth, because tomatoes are incredibly unique vegetables. If you look closely at the main stem of a tomato plant, you will see hundreds of tiny little hairs. If those hairs touch the soil, they will transform into actual roots. Because of this, you should never plant a tomato at the same depth it was in its plastic nursery pot. That is a huge missed opportunity. You want to pinch off the bottom sets of leaves, leaving only the top tuft of green leaves. Then plant that tomato extremely deep into the hole you just prepared. You want to bury almost 2/3 of the entire plant. By doing this, right above your secret layer of banana peels, eggshells, and ash, you are creating a massive deep root system. A deep root system means the plant can access water deep in the earth during hot summer droughts. It also anchors the plant so heavily that strong winds will not snap the stem. There is one final crucial step before you walk away, and it involves watering. Most people plant their tomato, cover it with dry dirt, and then gently water the top. If you use our 3 secret ingredients, top watering is not going to work. The water will never reach deep enough to start breaking down the banana peel and activating the eggshell powder. You need to use the mud pie method. After you place your plant in the hole and add some soil around it, fill the entire hole with water until it looks like a muddy soup. Let the water drain down completely. Then add the rest of the dry soil on top to finish filling the hole. This deep watering ensures that your secret nutrient layer is soaked. The moisture will immediately wake up the soil microbes, and they will start processing your homemade fertilizer on day 1. The dry soil on top acts as a mulch to trap that vital moisture deep underground where it belongs. So, what happens next? What should you expect after using this golden method? For the first week, you might not see much happening above the ground. Do not panic. The magic is happening underneath. The plant is sending out massive root structures, diving straight into that potassium, calcium, and phosphorus-rich buffet you prepared. By week 3, you will witness explosive top growth. The stem will become as thick as a permanent marker. The leaves will be huge, dark green, and vibrant. While your neighbors are struggling with yellowing leaves and sad, drooping plants, your tomatoes will be setting dozens of flowers. Because of the steady calcium supply, every single tomato that forms will be perfectly healthy, without a single spot of rot. You have essentially created a self-feeding ecosystem directly under your plant. You will save money on expensive liquid fertilizers, reduce your household waste, and ultimately harvest the biggest, best-tasting tomatoes of your life. And there you have it, the ultimate golden method for growing unbelievable tomatoes. By simply taking a chopped banana peel, a scoop of finely ground eggshells, and a small handful of pure wood ash, and placing them deep in the planting hole, you completely change the game. You are providing natural potassium for massive blooms, instant calcium to absolutely eliminate blossom end rot, and phosphorus-rich ash to build a giant, healthy root system. It is amazing to think that the absolute best fertilizer you can give your garden is made from things you are going to throw away. The cheapest method actually produces the most dramatic, jaw-dropping results. Your garden will never be the same again. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me today. If you learned something new and are going to try this trick, please hit that subscribe button, give this video a big like, and leave a comment below. I want to know, what is your absolute favorite type of tomato to grow in your garden? Let us chat in the comments section.